Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. Today we are up here in Carrot Top and I am taking a look at the onions to see if the onions are ready to be removed out of the ground yet. Alright, so we're going to get down and close and personal and check out what's going on with the onions that I've got in here. As you can see, there are some nice looking onions in here. Some of them are getting really quite big down in here. I've got some white ones, red ones and your normal brown ones that we have in here. Now you'll see all of the ones on this end are still upright and standing up, and down over here in this patch here, no, the cat has not been in here because he would have dug a hole, and there is no signs of the cat digging holes. So an onion, when it's ready to be harvested, it will do this. It will fall over as long as they are a soft neck onion. There are some hard neck varieties out there, but as long as his neck is really soft like this, they are ready to be pulled out. Now the little ones are not going to get any bigger if you leave them there, because these tops are just going to die off. Now these tops, guys, they are well and truly edible. You can eat them as you would do a spring onion. You can make some pesto, whatever it is you want to do with them. I don't usually do a lot with them, but I might actually dehydrate these up to use in place of the onions. Like I do with the leeks. So I do my leeks, which are looking pretty good this year. There's a whole bed of them, so I'm doing better with leeks than I am the onions. And just keep an eye out for that video when that one comes out. So some of these are small onions, some of these will be bigger onions. So I'm going to pull out what is ready in here and give you a look at what's left. Now some of these onions are super obvious that they're ready, but then there's others in here that are not super ready. So this one here is obviously super ready. It's just being held up by the side. This little one next to it here, yeah, he's definitely ready as well. And then if you just take a look around, and like this one here, he's still standing upright, but that's because he's being held up by his neighboured onions. But you can see he is wobbling around on his neck there. So we're just going to pull those three out as well. Crazy cat, are you going to get the mice that keep coming in and out of that bucket while you're up there? Are you going to get the mice? Is that breakfast hunting time? Is that what you're doing? Getting the mice that live in that bucket? In the compost bin? I hope so. If the onion tops have died back off, that is fine. If you haven't gotten to them and their tops have died off, that is still a perfectly good onion. Some people swear by waiting till the tops die off, but if you need the garden bed space like I do, I need to get more veggies in here, definitely start pulling them out. Now, the rest of the onions that are in here, they look like they're not ready. Now, you can actually still pull these out, but you don't need to pull them out. I repeat, you don't need to pull them out. Some people say when there's 70-80% of your onions are tipping over, it's ready to pull them out. Some people say as soon as any of them start to pull over, you can pull them out. Basically, pull out what you can deal with in one go, leave the rest, and then come back to them another day. If you can only do a few at a time, do it that way. If you want to make sure that they are ready and that their tops and their necks are definitely soft and they are definitely ready. See this one here? This is ready to go. It's just being held up by its neighbour. So it's always a good idea to go through and check every single one individually by just grabbing it, giving it a bit of a squeeze and a bit of a shake, and you might be surprised how many more onions are actually ready to go. Especially when they have such tall neighbours, they may be holding themselves up. Anything like this one that is already dying off at the tops there, I would definitely pull them out as well. So everything with a bendy neck is going to come out the garden. So while I pull out a few more of these gorgeous onions in here, I'm just going to cover a few items. Now, when to seed your onions is usually during autumn. So for us in Western Australia here, that is between March and May. I usually do them into a seedling tray and I will let them grow in there for several weeks until they're about 4 to 5 inches tall. And then I will take them out and I will plant them into the garden beds. Now, when you plant them in the garden beds, just make sure you are giving them about 10 centimeters of space between each of the onions so that they have plenty of room to grow and get bigger. Now, as you'll see, my onions, they stick out of the ground. Guys, that is perfectly normal. Please don't try to cover them up like you would with potatoes. So just let them grow out of the ground. If they're completely out of the ground and their roots in the ground, that is normal for an onion as well. So the other thing I'm going to let you know as well is I normally harvest these right at the beginning of summer, usually about the December, January state there. And so that is just when you need to start taking a look and just keeping an eye out on them at the beginning of December through to the middle of January. They should be all well and truly ready to be harvested. Now, onions are a cool weather crop. I haven't had much success growing them during our hot summers here in Western Australia. So, guys, the best time is just to try and do them over the winter, which also means you don't need to water them because they do require a lot of water. But don't forget to go and give them a fertilizer every couple of weeks. Put some slow release fertilizer or something like that on there. But yeah, so I find this is the best way to get my onions to do really well. The little onions I use as pickling onions, and the bigger onions I do as a cutting onion or a cooking onion. Alright, so you guys can see I have only taken out majority of a small section in the front here, and that is all I'm going to take out of here today. I'm going to leave the rest of them there to mature a bit more. Now, these onions have gone to seed. These are called scapes, and you can cut them off before this stage and eat them in a stir fry and that sort of thing. But you can see I've got a few that haven't, which is also another indication that they were close to being ready to harvested. So I'm not worried about eating those. There's not really a lot of them here. Depending on what onion they're hanging off the top of, I may, if it's a smaller onion, I may actually leave it and let it go to seed and grab hold of it later and grab the seeds off of it. You can see this one here, this is a scape. So when they're at this stage, you can just take the tops off of them like that and they taste just like onion. You can just stir fry them up just like that. Guys, thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to put some links on the side for you to check out some more videos, and I will definitely be linking the video on how I get these onions dried off and put up and stored for months and months at a time. I've had a lot of my onions last 6 to 12 months, so it is definitely worth growing them this way if you can.